moment to spool up. My meter is green. Everything looks good. The meeting is yours, Mr. Huber. Let me know if you need anything.
Okay, thank you. And it is officially, according to Comcast, 7:30. So with that, I will call the Milford Township Zoning Board of Appeals to order. And we will start off with Mr. Neal and the Planning Commission liaison report, please.
Mr. Chairman, we need to do a roll call first, please.
Thank you. You know, I'll probably remember that when we're no longer doing virtual meetings. So let me commence with the roll call. Linda?
Here in Milford.
Keith?
Here in Milford.
Ed?
Here, Milford.
Dale?
Here, Milford Township.
Neil?
Here, Milford.
Patty?
Here, Milford.
And myself in Milford. And with that, we will go to Neil and his Planning Commission liaison report.
Some news from the Planning Commission. We've now gone to 2 meetings a month in order to contain processes and ordinance updates. Normally on the second Thursday of the month, and then the regularly scheduled meetings that we've had on the last Thursday of the month. So we've had 2 meetings since our last ZBA. First was on May 20th. Second was on May 27th. On the May 20th meeting, primarily dealt with an audit of, or a start of an audit on ordinances and a process that Giffords and Webster are putting together for us called Clear Ordinances, which will update and try and simplify our ordinance book. And so we went through pretty much how that was going to be set up on the 20th. And then start to develop a work plan in terms of what we were going to review going forward. So they put together a list of priorities, and I can go through that if you wish. Second meeting was on the 27th, and we went through a review on King Ranch, which wanted the use, I think it's Powell Engineering, wanted to use outside storage without having a building or on-premise business on site, just primarily storage of equipment. And we tabled that until we get a better definition from our legal staff. And also looking at a preliminary, an update on corner lot zoning. And both of those will go on the June 24th meeting for a public hearing. And I'll have more information on it at that time.
Neil, on this ordinance review, once the board sets the parameters for the review, is there any thought of how long it would take to complete?
There's a number of different ordinances they're going through, primarily an overall look at an entire ordinance book. There's no set end date to this, Rich. Right now we're just going through the priorities of what's going to come up first. So we're looking at, the PUD ordinances. We're looking at lighting ordinances. We're looking at the M2 ordinances in terms of outdoor storage. And we're going to roll through these 2 or 3 a month until we're off the list. And the list is fairly extensive.
I would think so. Okay, very good. Thank you. If there's no other questions from the board of Neil, we'll go to the township liaison board report.
I received a copy of the synopsis of our township board meeting in our packets. I'll leave it to its writing unless there's any questions from anybody on any of the issues.
Okay, and in the absence of any questions of Dale, we'll proceed to new business. V21005, Jeffrey Russo.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
Before we start, I would make a motion to postpone due to the fact that the proper signage was not posted in advance as required, and also the property boundary lines and where the fence was going was not marked.
Okay. We have a motion to postpone this.
I will second.
I'm sorry, who seconded that, Ed?
I did.
Okay, we have a motion that has been made and seconded to postpone this particular hearing due to the lack of appropriate posting and staking relative to the request of the applicant. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye, and I will do a roll call count. Linda?
Mr. Chairman, before we
Yes.
do a roll call vote, we should offer the petitioner the right to state his case, although under the law, we cannot take any action on it until our next regularly scheduled meeting.
Dale, I would think we would do that after we have a vote to see if we are in fact going to postpone. If the vote by some chance would be not to postpone, then we would proceed with a regular hearing. So I'd like to have the vote on your motion, if I could first, and then we'll go to the point that you just raised.
Okay,
Okay, so we're going to do a roll call vote on the motion that we have before us that's seconded as well. Linda?
Aye.
Keith?
Aye.
Ed?
Aye.
Dale?
aye.
Neil?
Aye.
And myself, aye.
And
So,
aye
Don't
for me
forget
too.
Patty.
Oh, yeah,
sorry, I'm sorry.
Aye for me. Oh, come over there. Sorry, I have a
That
cat
was
butt
great
walking by.
picture. That was a nice picture of your dog.
I have my cat, actually. Yeah, I know. They can't imagine who's on the
The
computer
motion
with
is
me.
carried unanimously. Thank you, Patty, I'm sorry for missing you.
It's okay.
Mr. Russo, you are, if you wish to make a presentation to us at this time, the board will listen but will not question. Or you can come back next month and we can have a fully involved process after your property is properly posted and staked. And the reason that that's important is not only for the board members when they're trying to investigate your request, but also for the public that may wish to comment and knowing where and what areas of the issue are.
Cat here.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and the board. Apologies for that. There must have been an oversight on my end, miscommunication on my end. I thought that the digital drawing was sufficient, but I'll correct that for next time. Yeah, I'm willing to present if the board is willing to hear it at this time, sir.
If you want to make your presentation, the board will listen without questions. So please go ahead.
Thank you, sir. So just a quick high level on the proposal. So essentially, I went to the city and requested a permit for non-decorative fencing around the entire property. I was advised that it's roughly I would say closer to 60 or 70% of the property line, specifically along Old Plank Road, and then the southern portion of the property line, roughly 3/4 of that going up to the side of the house. would have to be decorative. Essentially on our end, we're planning to have children. We want to purchase 4 to 6 chickens, just hens. And then we also have 2 dogs. The road's somewhat busy. So this is something that we kind of envisioned before we purchased the home in December. And basically what we're looking at is we felt that the non-decorative fencing would be more secure than purchasing like the 3 wood panels with the stakes and then putting the mesh in it, because one, we thought it looked better, just cleaner, just with the non-decorative, but also we worry about like the mesh getting done and dogs getting to the road. I know in the area where I live, there is an issue with, chickens and dogs like that running into other people's yards. So I just kind of wanted to eliminate that. I did the best I could to place a berm there. We've put a lot of like plant seeds on it. I put 5 trees on it. I plan to put another probably 5 or 10 on there. And then in addition to that, we were going to put some evergreens where to my knowledge, where you can actually see the non-decorative fencing from the road. Essentially what we're trying to do is the green space north of the property, we're trying to kind of continue that. So it just looks more like a green space when someone's driving down the road, and also give ourselves privacy and contain our animals. That's pretty much it. I would actually, if the board's able to, sir, if there's any questions or concerns, if they could be addressed in this meeting, I could try to rectify those, because I would like to try to square it away if I can, just so I don't have to push another month, just because it's kind of getting into summer a little bit, respectively.
No, unfortunately, because of the requirements regarding the process for this case, which include, very importantly, the posting and staking, the board is not in a position to ask questions, certainly give you the opportunity to speak. And of course, you can come back the next meeting and speak. But for right now, the case will be postponed until next month, so that we have the appropriate posting and staking, as I said before, not only for us, but for the neighbors that may wish to look at this, and those that are in the affected distance.
No, it's a bummer to hear, but I completely get it. It makes total sense. So I definitely respect that.
Okay. So with that, the motion to postpone until next month, and of course, it's incumbent upon you to make sure you're posted and staked, and we'll see you at the next month's meeting.
Thank you.
You.
For the other board members, because it is not appropriately staked or posted, I will not do a call to the public on this case. I think it's appropriate to wait until we have the appropriate process fully implemented. So I will do a call to the public next meeting. With that, we will move to approval of minutes of May 12th, 2021.
I'd make a motion to approve the minutes of May 12th, 2021 as presented.
I have an objection to that motion for the time being. Page 4. There's a note in there that I noted receipt of an email, 2 emails. I did not note the receipt of the second one. I did note the first one. There were 2, but I did not use any names on the second one. You'll have to go back and review the record, but that was not me that brought that name up.
I'll check into it. I'll figure it out.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks, Pam.
I'd make a motion that we conditionally approve the minutes of May 12th as presented with corrections by Pam.
Second.
Okay. We have a motion that's seconded to approve conditionally the minutes of May 12th, subject to corrections by Pam relative to the items raised by Mr. Klink. We'll do a roll call vote. Linda?
Approve.
Keith?
Aye.
Ed?
Aye.
Dale?
Aye.
Neil?
Aye.
Patty?
Neil, you look like you were muted. Aye, sorry if you didn't hear me.
Okay, and myself, aye. Okay. So the motion is passed. We'll move on to call of the public. Do we have anybody from the public that wishes to comment to the board?
Mr. Chairman, there appear to be no members of the public online at this time.
Okay, thank you. With that, we'll go to board member remarks, and Tim already kind of stole my thunder under duressful questioning by the board. But next meeting in July, in which we do have an agenda, will be a reality meeting. That is, we will in fact be present at the Township Hall for the zoning board meeting the second Wednesday of the month. As I had mentioned previously, the only limitation is 50% capacity, which has generally never even been close to being an issue. Is there any comments by anybody else?
Curious if we have to do spacing for us at our chairs, because that's not the 6 feet or whatever the heck the standard is in some places.
We all have to spread out.
Yeah.
Just for awareness, I will not be in attending that meeting.
Okay, thank you, Neil. With that, and no other comments,
I have one.
okay,
I've never made a person put a mark in their yard for 1,500 feet of fencing. So that could be my fault too, but I haven't had anyone ever do that.
Doesn't it say that the corner lot lines need to be staked, Tim?
It says that your project has to be staked, but having the fence laid out on the lot, I have never done that before.
Because it's diagonally, when I pulled away, it was a little confusing on exactly where, to the left of the driveway, if you're leaving the driveway facing the road.
yeah. Tim, I understand your point. The reason I kind of would have liked some staking is, number one, he's got, I'm gonna say 25% of his frontage on Old Plank in the woods there, and I'd kind of like to know where that fence line would be, because it will probably come up in the discussion.
Okay.
And then also his berm that he was talking about, and because of the triangularity of the lot, it was confusing. But I understand generally we're used to rectangular lots with no woods, and it's pretty obvious what the front yard fence would be, but
Yeah, and four corners of a garage we can put in a yard, or
yeah,
an addition on the front of the house. It's too close to the road, but a whole yard of essentially putting fence in the
so
string
point
lines.
is well taken.
I know that we have in the past, and it was changed and rewritten, and Keith did a ton of work on this with Lance back a few years and put a lot of time into it. And it was just to avoid issues of where things were and the proper signage, because it wasn't being done.
Well, the signage part I agree on. He was notified last week that he was not signed and did not do it, so.
Yeah.
Even if he just puts a couple of stakes, even if they're 75 feet apart, you have some idea of where the fence is going to run.
Okay,
I'm not saying he's got to stake the entire thing. I mean, it's got to be reasonable.
Right.
Yeah, just as long as you have a good general idea of where it's going to be. Is it going to be halfway up the berm? Is it going to be 20 feet behind the berm?
Okay. Yep, I
But
think
we,
that's right.
we shouldn't really feel uncomfortable with this, but had he put in the sign like he was supposed to, maybe we would have been a little more chagrined to bounce this, but without even the sign.
Actually, Keith, the sign was in this morning.
This
I
one-
went by there this morning, the
Yeah, there
second
was a
time,
sign
because
this
I
morning.
wanted to get another look. And he did have a sign up, but again, it wasn't staked. And I looked around and I kind of got an idea, but I needed staking, period. And it wasn't there.
Okay. Do I hear a call for adjournment?
So moved.
I will call for adjourning.
Okay. Well, we'll look forward to seeing everybody live and in living color next month.